planning board meeting. First item on the agenda is a discussion with a gentleman who doesn't seem to be here.
Who's it?
Oh, he's here, okay. Tony Rodriguez Senior. Good evening.
Good evening.
We'll pull up a chair right up here so we can get up close and personal.
Sounds good to me.
All set?
So, yep.
Bob Berry, Proline Engineering, Tony Rodriguez, owner of the property. I was asked to come to the meeting. We came here for a Form A plan here signed on the corner of Main Street and William Street. The board asked me at the time of the meeting to put a statement on lot 4, parcel 4. I got a copy of the plan here, stating that it was a non-buildable lot, which I said I would do. I left the meeting, and then after some discussion with Tony, he didn't want the statement on it because he already had a building on it. It's an existing structure on a piece of property, and he already has building permit, so he's thinking if it's a non-buildable lot, he's already got a building on there, he does want to keep the bond that's on there. So I talked to my surveyor, Joe Drebeck, who signed the plan, and he says there is a statement that's under the signing block, which is, we do in all the towns, and Dayton's particular statement states that endorsement of the plan by the planning board doesn't deem the lots as buildable lots, that it's kind of like just a cover, because wetlands, percolation tests, things of that nature could come into play that make a lot non-buildable as you go to different boards, Conservation Commission, Board of Health, and various agencies before you eventually make it to the building department to pull permits. So we felt that would cover the plan. I think Tony's had some discussions with Jim Aguirre, the building inspector in town, and based on those discussions, we were asked to come back before the board to see if the board would consider endorsing this plan as it is with this statement on the plan, but not putting a statement on this particular lot which already has the structure on it. If it was a vacant lot and
What's the structure on it, Bob?
it's a bond, right? It's a,
If I may, I want to insert something here. I pulled a permit to demo that bond. It's in 3 sections. The south section and the north section were basically the same, with like a garage in between them. The north structure, they tell me, was a store at one time. As we started to demo the north section of that structure, we came upon living quarters. So it was so bad I took it down. I went to the southern side, all right, which was pretty good shape. I said, I'm gonna try and save this structure. In that part of the structure, there was beds upstairs, there was a sink downstairs, there was a heat stove upstairs, there was a table downstairs on the south side. As I cleaned up the north side that I had taken down already, we found a cesspool. So evidently, some point, somewhere, sometime, probably immigrant workers lived in there, and the cesspool was still in place. I got a hold of Jim Aguirre, right, and we documented everything we saw. He has the photographs and everything. That's the only reason why I believe it's a non-conforming, pre-existing lot. It's got the square footage.
Well, it was a it was a conforming pre-existing lot when it was one big lot. But now you're cutting it up, so now you're making it non-conforming.
Why is it non-conforming? It's got square footage. It's got frontage.
Doesn't have upland, doesn't have enough upland.
Yeah, it doesn't have enough upland, that's all. But pre-existing is it.
Stating what Peter said, at one point, it was one lot, correct? So it conformed. What you're doing now is you're dividing it into 4 separate lots, which is making that one particular lot, because it doesn't have enough upland, it's making it non-conforming. It doesn't
What do you
conform to
do
our
with
rules and
what do you do with a
regulations.
house that's on a piece of property that, was an existing house?
You don't subdivide it any further.
You don't subdivide it when
Well,
it has it right?
what you're doing is
The
subdividing.
only thing this lot doesn't conform to is upland. that's to be determined.
So this is the wetlands line. Correct. You have a building permit for what?
No, I have I have a building permit to take this down and rebuild it. I could put the, what was there, probably apartment, or I could put a two-bedroom apartment on this side, I could put a two-bedroom apartment on the other side, cause it was there. But I really don't want it because it's so close to the street. You know, it's, I'd like to leave the north side off and put a small house right here, in the upland.
Think you're gonna get conservation approval?
I'm gonna have to go way back to reflag this. Because this was all one field at one time and it was farmed. There's a street drain right here, it's feeding water into that lot. I've already been all over that with
How much upland is it?
18,000.
Yeah,
Oh, not even 50%.
yeah, 18,000, a little over 18. The frontage on William Street is 358 feet plus the curve.
Yeah, that whole piece is almost wetlands, ain't it?
Well, the wetland line, we didn't flag it, it was actually flagged before we get involved with the project, but the botanist, there's a stone wall that runs through the property here, so the guy, Chris Capone, who flagged the lot, ended at that wall, cause he thought that was the end of the property. There's actually another wall, which is the one that we located when we did the survey of the whole perimeter, that's actually the end of the property.
So what you're saying,
That
perhaps
part.
the wetland curves and this could be upland and then you're,
It could
Yeah,
be,
that makes
because
sense.
he came from this wall, which was clear, you could see that this was the wall. But there's a lot of walls, like you can see, we didn't locate every interior wall out here, but we did locate this one because Tony wanted to use that since it like defines the property. So we followed that wall, we had to do a little kick over here to get the 175 feet frontage, but he wanted to keep it because it's a nice wall. Just like the other walls, they're nice, but we're not sure, like, he doesn't go to the wall, so we don't know if the line does continue back and go back on itself. Like Tony says, this property that we topoed generally flows in this direction, the water that comes into the property, so we don't know. We know we located every flag out here with the survey equipment, but so we know these are good, these three, cause it crosses what we're creating for property lines, but we're not sure.
We're not sure about
that.
this back here because this was a flag because there's a wall that goes through here.
And that's where he stopped,
That's where we stopped, you know?
so we don't know if it was held up in this area, which was, like Tony said, it was a field, it's a low area.
And how long ago was it flagged?
It was flagged, I think, last year. I put it in here, well, we located them October 20th, 2016. But I think it was done not too long before that.
So what you're saying, do you think there's more uplands back here?
Well, there's possibly is.
Doesn't it, I don't have the book, but doesn't it need to be contiguous?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, it does.
So doing that really is not gonna
It's kind of a moot point,
change
right?
anything.
Well, it doesn't, he never made it to the property line with his last flag, so we don't know if there's a strip or if it goes, so it would be, if it stays within the property, it could be contiguous.
Oh, the flags, you mean?
Yeah, the
Right.
flag line, yeah, so. Yeah, so if
So
it
what you're
comes
saying
off
is
the
if
wall,
it hugs the
Yeah.
line and then comes
Yeah.
right out here,
yeah, then it would still be contiguous, cause it doesn't cross the property line.
I believe we've approved other similar situations in the past where we didn't know if the land had
I
enough
believe it would
upland
be
or
up to
whatever.
conservation at the time that I went for the building permit.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Tony's right with that, it would be up to Concom to determine that.
But again, I believe we've had a similar situation on a 2 or 3 lot Form A deal, and similar situation, we didn't have any objections because it says right on it, no guarantee of buildability.
Right.
That's what my surveyor thought, he said it would protect
Let's do
the
it.
planning board with that statement on there.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if it doesn't perk or
Right,
things,
don't
which
perk,
then there could be other situations that make it non-buildable, right?
Are you going to conservation with this?
Yeah,
This lot I will, I have to.
yeah, even the other lots he has to, so when they see it, then they will verify the flag line. because that's what
Right.
Charlie's gonna do, the first thing he's gonna do. Because he does have to file notice of intent. The first one he doesn't, because he's well away from the 100-foot buffer. But as you start coming that way, then we're definitely gonna be, the septics won't be in it, but the house itself will be in the 100-foot buffer, so it will require conservation filing.
If there's a 25 no touch, right?
That's right.
And you can still build
25 no touch, 50-foot no structure,
no structure.
and then 100 feet is the septic systems.
It's, I hope it's a buildable lot, but it's to be determined.
Yeah, and it's on you, it's not
Yeah,
on.
it's not on you, it's not on him, you know, it's like, you gotta determine it. But if you stamp it as a non-buildable lot, it's dead.
What's that say again on the bottom?
A statement,
Yeah.
endorsement by the planning board does not constitute a buildable lot.
Just talking about this one lot.
Well,
No, it's all
No,
of them.
it's all actually, it's all.
of them.
Every time we do a Form A plan, that this
Every
comes
Form
right
A
from
plan has
the
that.
planning board regulations as a template. That's the statement that's on there. That's even if the lots were high and dry, this statement is still put on there, just to protect the board.
Because I could go through all this and not have it perked. And go in there, each individual lot and say, the middle one don't perk. It's not a buildable lot then, but you've already endorsed the plan. It's to be determined.
Tony, did you register the other Mylar?
No.
Then, I'd hold off on that building permit.
Well, I gotta register this one, if I get it signed.
I know, but we'll sign off on a building permit for a lot that doesn't exist.
Oh, on one of these? Correct, yeah, he can't get a building permit on
No,
those
he already
until-
told me that, I gotta get
until
improved
the
plan,
plan's recorded.
Mylar recorded,
He can't
before he
even
gives me a
sell it.
building permit.
He couldn't sell it either,
Anyone like to?
What's our
make a
pleasure?
motion?
No,
Well, I have a question, but, you know, I'm trying to learn this stuff, but these three lots, we're good with, right? The board? So we wouldn't need that statement for those three lots.
But it's a pro forma statement on
It
it.
is, it's a,
On
it's
every-
a
every plan.
standard.
I mean, you
I
know,
think the
because
first
we,
time you came in, you didn't have this
Correct.
signature.
It's a
block.
standard thing
Alright.
saying that we don't, as of the moment, the planning board doesn't see it as a,
right, but in our eyes, these three lots are conforming and they're good. This is the one in question. Right? We
Well, no, it
decided-
conforms.
This one also, the last lot?
It does conform,
Just
correct?
doesn't have
Yes.
enough contiguous
just- it
upland.
can-
Okay, but these three do?
It conforms to frontage and area,
Frontage and area
all of them
conforms.
do, but the upland on the last one is questionable.
is questionable, so.
Woody, the last time, this one didn't have enough
Right.
upland, so they jiggered the line a little
Yeah.
bit
Mhm.
to correct it.
Move the line over.
No, I was just curious, cause,
Okay, right.
you know, if we're good with those and we're not happy with this one, then that's gotta go to conservation or whoever, you know.
you didn't perk any of them yet, right? They're all perked.
They all perk?
Not this one, haven't done this one,
Oh, okay.
haven't done that lot, no.
I mean, just, the way I look at it is like, we're taking responsibility for these three, saying it's good, but we don't wanna mention that one, correct?
Not
No.
really.
Yeah,
Once you sign it, you sign
We either
it.
sign it for all of them, or we don't sign it. But
Okay.
the
But-
issue for it, our issue isn't wetlands, our issue isn't ratio of uplands versus wetlands, our issue isn't perkability, our issue
Frontage.
isn't it is frontage.
Yeah, frontage.
But it's not setbacks,
Right.
that's the building commissioner. Our issue is, does it conform to our bylaws?
And does it,
Proper area, proper frontage.
That's really, those are the two things.
And with the Form A plan, Woody, the board wasn't comfortable signing it. The applicant would have to wait 21 days and they get it constructively approved anyway, the town clerk signs off on them. There's no like really denying a Form A plan.
okay.
You can, you
That's
know,
why it says right on it,
decide,
not
yeah.
required.
Right.
But approval would save them 3 weeks.
It's a lot of work, it doesn't matter, it's almost like it doesn't matter.
Kind of, you're right.
Yeah, you're right, it almost does, but.
I just wanted to be clear on it, that's all.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Thank you.
Somebody wanna make a motion to re-sign
I'm
this
thinking
plan?
of one. I'm gonna move to endorse the plan since they all meet the required frontage and square footage.
Second?
No,
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go. And pens. You got 2 sets?
Well, the other ones
I-
are the exact same ones.
They are, and I didn't write non-buildable on the
Yeah.
paper one, so we're
Yeah,
good.
if you need any extras, let me know.
We should be good. You don't really need to sign that, Tom.
Okay.
We have the other ones that are signed, it was just the Mylar you guys need to
Okay.
sign.
Mylar? Okay.
Yep.
I kept the same date, I
Mhm.
had Joe put the same date in the stamp.
Okay, good.
I think you moved this line the wrong way.
Oh, you?
I think it was supposed to go like that.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious, remember I told you?
Yeah.
I think you moved it the wrong way.
Just
What do you
like.
judge?
I don't know which one, I'd have to put it over.
I actually moved
I
this
know you
one
moved it,
that
but I
way.
think you moved it the
Well,
wrong
yeah, 'cause we
way.
had the old plan and we put it on top, remember?
I
Oh,
said,
yeah?
What's that?
It didn't make
No.
sense.
Not at all.
Really drying up.
Is it drying up?
Wonder how Roseville did. What's the date?
19.
Am I right here, not a buildable lot? No.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Sorry about the confusion.
Okay.
No. Did it cover?
And next time, just talk with the board like that, at that meeting.
I know.
Would have been, you know, they asked you to do that, you should have said, no, I'm not comfortable doing that because X, Y, and Z.
We're gonna learn. Never too old to learn.
Isn't that the truth?
I was learning even at our age, right?
That's right, that's what I said.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Casey, we're ready for you.
You're the next victim.
Steve, is coming in to talk with the board and see how they feel about rezoning a parcel of land up on Horton Street that is now, open space recreation.
How you doing?
Good, how are
Hey,
you?
Steve, how are you?
I think I know him, I don't know you.
Hi, Peter.
Steve, nice to
Nice
meet
to meet you.
How you doing? Woody?
you. Woody?
How you been,
Met
Steve?
you before?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
And Tom, right?
Yeah.
I know you. Yeah, I think Heidi summed it up. It's my understanding, it's extremely difficult to take land that's, it's open space
Open space, yes.
and change zoning. I understand that. I guess what, leads me to believe that it could happen is, but one reason is, we're looking at the zoning map, it looks like at some point it was zoned, like all around the flood zone. They kinda just like, at one point, like from an
Yeah.
aerial,
Well,
it was never
what-
actually,
What the Reeds don't own, the town of Dayton Conservation Commission owns.
okay,
So all around you is all Comcom land, which is, a lot of it is wet. And so I think that you, like, cause where the store is, where the,
yeah, there's that one area that's not.
that is not, you got the, is it on
Yeah, what
there?
are we talking about?
What
What
Papa
area?
Squash is?
Across the
That's
street from
exactly-
Papa
Directly
Squash.
across the street.
Now,
Gotcha.
Papa Squash is also in an open space recreation area, which is, shouldn't be. The house where our
Papa
highway
Squash
superintendent lives at the
Probably
Reed's
right
own
here.
Yeah,
Directly
I know
is
the
an
woods.
open space recreation.
So this is, according to my engineer, he's thinking that when this was all taken for open space, it was done from an aerial photo, and it was basically unusable land. Well, we found 3 acres that is usable, and we had to go through FEMA and have it taken out of the flood zone, we did a Loma and all that stuff. And then, after all that, after $12,000 is gone, I find out that
For a Loma?
it's, I,
12,000?
well, for me to do all my engineering, my
Oh,
perk
yeah,
test,
yeah.
surveying, the whole, you know,
Yeah.
flagging it, the whole deal. If I had known from the beginning, probably would've came and seen you guys a long time ago, or just aborted the project
Right.
altogether. But now I'm into it, so, and it's for me, it's my house, so I'm trying to save it. So, I was kinda hoping I could fall back on the fact that maybe it was done almost like by mistake, that this wouldn't have been zoned this way if they had known at the time that it was upland. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I don't believe it.
How many
That's
acres?
the case.
This is 163,000 square feet, this area here.
So the total acreage is 33.
And my house
So
would be-
if you look over here, these are our, cause this is the property itself, so this is it on our zoning map.
So this would be Reed Farms
Yep,
down here,
the Reed,
correct?
the
farm,
Reed's
old
Farm
stand.
stands here.
So this line corresponds to William Street, more or less?
Yes, right here,
Yeah, so-
exactly.
so my
Where is it?
dad's
Right
house
over
is
here?
So yes, so this is where
Dad's
he
house here.
wants to build.
Farm stand here, and I'm back here.
So he would like to rezone. My suggestion to him was the rezone, obviously this parcel, they own this parcel. This is Papa Squash, and then that rezone this parcel. Because I feel that if the board agrees, if he would like to do the rezoning, he should probably talk to Papa Squash. See if they're on board with rezoning, because you know, they're at,
It's a swim club.
Swim club.
Oh, that's
right, I remember
that. Yeah.
Not much there now, but it's still,
because there's a
it's still
house
there.
here.
Do they still
Yeah,
have a
they,
swim
they
club?
actually, yes,
Do they
they
still
actually
operate
were
out of there?
They're looking
advertising
for new
on
members?
Facebook,
It's
yeah.
like the mom,
Looking
It's
for
kind
new
of
members.
Facebook.
it's the mom's club, right?
Yeah,
I went there
yes.
when I was a kid, when
Really?
my mother paid, I think it was $150, and then, or $50 for the summer maybe back then, and then she got sick of that, so I used to jump the fence. Save $50.
You're on camera.
Cause I think that if you try to do this, I think it might be considered spot zoning. And the Attorney General wouldn't approve it once it went to,
But I don't wanna go that far.
well, this is
I
what
wanna deal with-
but we'll discuss this.
Yeah, but I have another, but I had a proposal.
What's that?
The, so there's, my dad has a, my dad owns all this, and he owns this across the street. Where it's not zoned, there's land over there that isn't really useful to me. I would be willing to make some kind of a swap. So I had the feeling that if this were to go further, that, there's an open space committee in town or something. I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers, so I'm thinking, look, if you give me my upland that, in my mind, shouldn't have ever been zoned open space in the first place, which I could be wrong, but that's my thinking. I'll trade you however much land you want over here. I'll give it to you so the town doesn't lose. I think the whole goal is that they wouldn't wanna lose open space.
I'm not sure we could.
That's not how it works, though.
Yeah.
Any zoning,
I was just
gonna
any
It
zoning
sounds so
changes,
simple, doesn't
any
it?
Yeah.
zone, it does, but any zoning changes gotta go to town meeting, actually.
Right,
And it has to be a
And then it has
two-thirds
to-
majority,
and then it has to be approved by the
By
Attorney
the Attorney
General's
General's office.
office.
right, it's
Now,
very
it-
difficult to
it-
get a
it-
two-thirds
it-
majority.
And then trying to do.
Even if I was giving more than I was getting,
Yeah.
would it be hard for me? I
You'd
thought
have
that
to
would be a
make a
Well,
slam dunk.
you might,
mean, you could
you
make a
might win
nice
at town
presentation.
meeting.
Yeah.
know?
You might win at town meeting, you might win the voters over, but once it hits Attorney General, the Attorney General could say, you're spot zoning, you're not doing that, kick you back.
Right.
They might say,
How
well,
long
the
ago
front
was that zone
portion
recreational?
is
know.
70,
Nineteen
but
seventy?
yeah, it's been that for many years.
Now, my dad, obviously, and my uncle, they're up in arms because, now, they're good guys. I don't know if anybody here actually knows
I know.
my dad, my
Yeah.
Uncle Lenny.
Yeah,
But to them, it's like their land was stolen. Now, at some point, there was probably something sent to the office or
But,
to the house
you know,
back in the day.
When you think about it, they were given, like here, obviously were given that building permit for that house back in the day, even though it was open space recreation,
But
so
that
they
house
probably-
was built before it was ever zoned.
You talking the old farmhouse?
where Tom lives.
That,
Oh,
that
that
house
one.
was 1700s. That
Oh.
was before zoning even
Oh,
existed.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
wow.
Both of them on the corners.
Yeah,
How was your grandfather's house? That's gotta be
Oh, well, Tommy's is older.
late
Um,
1700s too,
Yeah,
right?
or early 18s. Tommy's, I think, think that had one of those historical, like, signs
Signs
on
on
the
it?
pole up front or something.
The
I
one
think that
metal
wouldn't want
detector
those
over
ones.
there.
But, I mean, not that it matters, but to them, they're very black and white.
I
And to
understand,
them,
I don't
I
blame
mean,
them,
I'm paying taxes on land I can't use.
I don't blame them
Who
at
stole
all.
my land? It's my land, I paid for
Well,
it.
how long has it been zoned that way?
According to Heidi,
50
since
years,
like
it sounds
nineteen
like.
seventy.
The
When
original
zoning first
zoning,
came in.
yeah, original zoning. I don't know if they did it because, see, if you, the river, you know, you can see the river goes
So
through
you're,
here.
I've been back
and-
behind Joni Goulart's house there,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's kinda wet, there's a stream back there.
Yeah,
I've been
right.
hunting back there for
Yeah.
years, so.
so we need a historian to tell us why it was zoned that way in the first place and why the owners didn't throw up a fight at the time.
Bring Uncle Lenny down.
But that's really irrelevant except for us to find out and
Yeah,
as a
I'm just,
curiosity.
I know there's nothing that,
Yeah.
obviously nothing's gonna happen tonight. I don't
Well,
wanna waste my time, I don't wanna waste a year.
well, we can't, well, it's gonna take at least, like, if we brought this to town meeting, we followed all the procedure to take it to town meeting. Then once, if it gets approved at town meeting by 2/3 vote, and you might win the vote is over by saying you're gonna give more open space, but because I know that you probably have a very difficult time taking land out of open space, because we're definitely,
That's a good
Well-
argument, though.
it is a good
But,
argument.
Yeah.
but maybe not from a lawyer's perspective.
Hey,
Yeah.
can
But
I
once
ask-
it hits Attorney
I
General,
wanna ask
a
about
lawyer.
the piece across the
I'm
street you talked
really not
about.
sure how, where it's
That,
going.
that
Now,
lane
the-
that goes in along the river, opens up to a big field with a giant tree in
Yeah,
the
if you
middle.
been hunting back there,
I've been hunting everywhere.
there's deer prints back there.
I know,
That's plan B.
but
I
that's,
might-
that,
I might
that's the
try to go
property
back
you're talking
there, too.
about, right?
Yeah, but no, I wouldn't be giving that field to open space. I'd be, you know.
I know the road and the river's on the right,
Yep,
Then-
actually, when you come right across Horton Street,
Yep.
the driveway to it's a little bit further down, it used to be directly across.
I know where the
Horton
street, I've been down that road.
Okay, as soon as you cross the street,
Yeah.
that's upland, I got that all flagged too, that's upland for about 150 feet down, then it
How long
turns
was
left.
this?
Yeah,
I was thinking to the left, cause that's,
I am to the left. I mean, that, yeah, to me, right, I'm
Did it
speaking
really?
as a
Yeah,
person
right.
who's been out in the woods a lot,
sure,
and
Yeah.
that is a desirable piece of open space land
Oh,
for
you
the
gotta do
town.
it that way?
That's a-
Okay.
I was just trying, if it was us that could make the
Yeah,
decision,
Peter.
Yeah.
we could probably hammer out a deal that you guys say, hey, we won, and I leave, and I say, hey, I won.
Right.
But if it goes to town meeting and it has to go to the Attorney General or
There you
whatever,
go.
that says, I mean, that's.
That's gonna be, it's gonna be a tough fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The initial taking from open space, you
240,
know,
320.
that's gonna be a difficult fight.
It is.
Trying to convince
is.
townsfolk that, you know,
500,
you're giving up,
450
We're tree
even though you're
huggers.
getting it,
500,
you know,
yeah.
even though
We're
the
tree
town's
huggers,
getting some
and
back.
that-
Yeah.
That's,
to that.
But the thing is, I was
400
talking to him, I know
Yeah,
that
we know
man
it.
good, I know the
Mhm.
piece he wants, and I know the piece he's willing to give up. The piece he's willing to give up is more user-friendly for residents to use. It's a beautiful piece. So that's a good selling point. I'm not trying to,
and I know, like I
know.
said, he could probably win the vote is over
Right,
with that,
right.
as long as they're getting their open space, as long as they
Yeah.
have their open space, but I'm not sure about the Attorney General. The only thing with the Attorney General would be the argument that, you know,
You're
well, the
still
front
talking-
portion of this property is residential. There is a business there, you know, this is his property, he just wants to make the whole piece, you know, residential.
How do we know you're not gonna put two houses along here? What, you know, that's what people are gonna ask you.
yeah, I'll.
'Cause you are a developer.
Well, I used
A
to.
builder.
Half-assed developer, we'll call it at best.
I don't wanna say that.
You don't think I know
I had to
it?
bite my tongue.
My house would be, there is 2 shitty lots here.
Yeah,
My house would be directly in the middle of, once I, get my lot done, there'll be I'll wreck the other lot, there won't be enough land to put another lot. My house will go directly in the center.
and what if the retreat lot thing passes, then we could get a special permit for a retreat lot, and then,
Only if it were zoned residence.
Only-
not gonna be
Yeah.
enough acreage.
Yeah,
it's got 30-something acres.
yeah, but he's gonna
No,
have
no,
to,
he's
he's
only
gonna have
taking
to
3.
subdivide this property too,
Ah,
cause he's not gonna be able to, can't have two,
Yeah, I
you
haven't-
can't have two.
Nothing is subdivided,
Can't have